Hello everyone, myself Pawan Mohana, Assistant Professor of EC Department at LJ Institute of Engineering Technology. Welcome to the session of Radar and Navigational Aids. So, in the previous session we have finished unit number 10, that is the Hyperbolic Navigation System. Now in unit number 11, that is aids to approach and landing. So in this session, we will first understand the basics of landing, instrument landing system, ground control approach system, and the precision approach radar. And there is a difference between instrument landing and the microwave landing. So for that we are going to understand the microwave landing system, localizer, and the glide scope system, right? Now, over here, we need to provide the information about the exact position in relation to the desired path, like horizontal and the vertical position. Alright, that means if we need to land the aircraft onto the ground, we must know its horizontal and the vertical position for that. Okay, so there are basically two types. First one is instrument landing system, and another one is a microwave landing system. Okay, there are two types of landing system. Second is ground control approach. That means it does not require any special navigational equipment. Only a communication set is needed in the aircraft, right? So, first we are going to focus on the instrument landing system. So, instrument landing system comprises the unit that is called the localizer, glide scope, and marker beacons. Okay. So, what do you mean by it? The localizer defines the vertical equipped signal plane which pass over the center line of the runway in the glide scope. Okay. 3 marker beacons are also installed at certain specified distance from the end of the runway. Right. Next is ground control approach system, in which the high precision radar system which are going to be sited near the airport runway, right? So with the help of this system, controller on the ground can bring the aircraft into approach zone, and then we are able to guide it along with the path. So the system consists of 2 radars. One is called the surveillance radar element and another one is called the precision approach radar. So the surveillance radar element is basically a radar with the PPA display, right? So first we are going to start what do you mean by surveillance radar element. So as the SRE, that is surveillance radar element, is not an essential part of the approach system, the following data, these are the data which relating to the earlier version of SRE which is going to be noted. That means SRE has a wavelength of 10 cm, peak power of 80 kilowatt, pulse length of 0.5 microsecond, pulse repetition frequency that is a 2000 pulses per second, scan rate that is 30 revolution per minute, and wave width is approximately of 0.5 degree. Alright. So the precision approach radar has the maximum range of about 15 to 20 kilometers, which scans the approach zone both in azimuth and the elevation angle. Right? The precise performance and the display details depends to some extent on the manufacturer of the equipment. Okay. So radar can scans a 20-degree azimuth sector and 7-degree elevation sector to meet the operational requirement. So for the operation, we have two separate antenna which are used. One antenna is for azimuth, second one is for the elevation. Alright. The precision approach radar is going to be set. By setting the power, we can control the angle of scanning. Alright. See, in this diagram, over here, the azimuth coverage in elevation, and over here, the 4 degree means the azimuth coverage in the azimuth. Alright. So total elevation scan is 7 degree. Azimuth coverage is 20 degree. Alright. So this shaded rectangular portion over here and over here, which shows the section of the beam, right? So the precision approach radar, which have the position of PAR with respect to the runway, which is shown in the figure. Let's say over here, this is my runway, this horizontal path. The PAR is located over there, okay? And this is the limits of scan over here and over here. So it can scan, or it can scan for azimuth and the elevation for this amount of angle only. Alright? So the precision approach radar depends upon the precise determination of the beam position. So it uses a single radar transmitter which is connected to two antennas. So two scans are going to be interlaced. Okay. So for the precision approach radar, the peak power is 50 kilowatt, frequency is 9080 megahertz, pulse width is 0.18 microsecond, PRF is around 3.825 kilohertz, and the range that we can determine is the from the 200 feet. Azimuth and elevation angle is 0.6 degree, right? So for the large coverage, large antenna is going to be used, which is having the dimension of 13 feet to 1 multiplied with the 1.625 height, length and the width of the antenna. Okay. We can use two types of PAR. One can be fixed, another one is a movable. Alright. So for the movable PAR, antenna should be lighter than the fixed one. Otherwise, we are not able to move for the specific angle for the elevation as well as for the azimuth. So the data obtained by the PAR are displayed on two cathode ray tubes. One that is going to display range and the elevation angle, and other displays range and the azimuth angle. Alright. So the accuracy of PAR is such that the distance of up to 1 mile, it is possible to detect the deviation of light scope as little as up to 8 meters. Okay. Now we have done the instrument landing system. Now the next topic is microwave landing system. The latter development in the landing system is the microwave landing. As the name suggests, microwave. So its operating frequency is 5031 to 5090 megahertz. Okay. Why the microwave landing system is going to be developed? Because to overcome the disadvantage of ILS, particularly in the busy airports where the ground conditions are unfavorable for the operation of instrument landing system. Okay. So ILS is site sensitive. Further, it operates in very high frequency and the ultra high frequency band. Why? Because the surrounding current plays an important role in shaping the beam. Also, with the help of microwave landing system, it provides total of 40 channels, right? So, MLS can maximum accommodate 200 channels. So, because of the small wavelength, antennas are small and they can be designed to relatively free from the effect of the surrounding area. So in microwave landing system, the horizontal guiding equipment produce a beam narrow in the horizontal plane and wide in the vertical plane, which is swept rapidly about the vertical axis from the side to side. Alright? As the horizontal beam is very narrow, that means it can travel through a longer distance. So ultimately, the directivity of that antenna is going to be increased. Alright? And if the vertical sweeping is from one axis to another, it can cover a maximum area. So while a vertical guiding equipment produces the narrow beam, ultimately it has the high directivity. Alright? So which is going to be wide in the horizontal direction. So it is possible we are able to rapidly scan in the horizontal axis. Alright? So this is the microwave lending system. Apart from that, in addition to the distance measuring equipment which is going to be provided, which is going to be located near the horizontal guiding equipment at the far end of the room. Right? So first, if we need to scan horizontally as well as the vertically, the horizontal beam should be as narrow as possible, alright, such that the directivity should be increased. Alright? So the equipment gives the aircraft, which is the distance of the aircraft from the touchdown point. Okay? So beam scans at the uniform rate from the plus 40 degree. Alright? So with respect to the center line of the runway, minus 40 and the plus 40 when it is possible. Alright? Apart from that, the aircraft which picks up the signal as the beam scans it. Alright? So if each scan takes a t second as an aircraft on the center line, because it always continuously scans the vertically as well as the horizontally. So the center line of the runway which picks up a beam twice at a specific interval, that is t by 2 to thrice of t by 2. Alright? So the MLS, that means a microwave landing system, being an all-weather landing system, which gives the guidance at the most critical phase of the flight. That is, one is the approach, second one is the landing. Right? So the MLS is planned to replace the instrument landing system in the stages in the course of the act. Right? So these are the elements of microwave landing system, in which you are able to find out that these are the radiators, right? These are the electronic phase shifter, power divider and the inputs. So with the help of power divider, we are able to first apply the inputs to the single unit. Power is going to be divided with the help of power divider, and what is function of electronic phase shifter? It will gives to change the phase of the input signal, and that phase shifted signal is going to be radiated with the help of radiator. Right? Now second, that is a localizer. So what is the function of localizer? It operates in the very high frequency band of 108 to 110 MHz, which consists of transmitter with an antenna system. Okay, so the radiation from the antenna system has two lobes, one with a modulation of 90 Hz and another with the modulation of 150 Hz. Okay, so these two signals are going to be equal. Why? Because both the lobes are symmetrical to the runway. So the antenna array, by means of which this pattern is obtained, which consists of 7 and 8 elements. Right? Over here, the loop antenna is going to be used in the localizer, and the entire antenna system is placed at the center line of the array, which is about 300 meters from the end of the array. So total 7 to 8 loops are going to be divided in the formation of 313 and 323. Center of the loop, which fed with the carrier of 90 Hz and the 150 Hz modulated wave. Alright. So if the one side loop is fed with the sideband of 90 Hz and 150 Hz, we are able to scan rapidly. Okay. Next is glide slope system. So the principle of glide slope is currently used called the null type glide slope, which is very similar to the localizer. Right? The system operates in the band of 339 megahertz, or you can say 335 megahertz, okay, which are going to use a two antenna having a polar diagram. Alright, so if the aircraft flies along the null, what it going to do is it receives the signal of lower antenna only. Okay, and if the two modulations are equal, which gives the equal signal force. So the glide slope and the antenna have to be sighted away from the runway. Why? Because such they do not constitute a hazard. Alright? Receiving equipment. Receiver is typically a crystal controlled multi-channel receiver. Right? Separate receivers are required for localizer and the glide slope because they operate in widely different bands. Right? So receivers having a very efficient automatic gain control, this keeps the output of receiver constant. Right? So when the input varies from 20 microwatt to 1 next microwatt. Right? So the meter indication is perfect and which ensures a correct path finding. Right? Now, for the receiving equipment, it is important that both localizer and the glide slope, that courses are going to be maintained correctly. Okay? Because we are going to approach and land the aircraft safely onto the ground. So to achieve this, first we need to identify what is the strength of the signal for this dipole antenna, which are going to be fixed at certain points. Okay, so now the received signal is going to be processed to find the modulation components and to monitor the course alignment, width and the clearance. Okay. So if the certain condition is not going to be met, then it enables the alarm circuit. Okay. Now the next is marker beacons. We have studied glide slope and the localizer. The third one is the marker beacons. It is going to be employed by ILS. The ILS employs 3 marker beacons. It gives the indication in the aircraft when it passes over them. Okay. So all of them operate at the 75 megahertz and work with an antenna which gives the fan-shaped beam. Right? So outer marker is placed at the 7 kilometer from the touchdown point of the runway. Right? Because the radiation is modulated at the 400 hertz. Alright? So over here we have studied instrument landing system, micro landing system, precision approach radar, ground control approach. Right? And in instrument landing we have seen glide slope, localizer and the marker beacons. So over here unit number 11, that is aids to approach and landing, is finished. Right? But still, if you have any doubt, you can ask me at any time on my viewing diary. Till then, thank you for your attention.